only. So when you're sending the data via wireless, through wireless and all those things, then you have to even bother about, you have to analyze about network also. Okay, it has a power to analyze details of what you are going to analyze in network, communication patterns made by protocols, and correlate this across the network. So what it does exactly, it quickly identifies anomalies. Anomalies means any difficulties or any um, abnormal conditions may occur in the network, or any breakage. Okay, any network can break, or if the protocol is not having a proper security, all comes under the category called anomalies. So which suggests what network problems due to suboptimal paths, intrusive malware. Yes, I forgot this word. Malware is very important. Even it can be a virus, it can be any things, or any excessive congestion. These are all can be analyzed, because you are using network. When network comes, you have to worry about all these things only. And you can see here a diagram, a smart grid. This field area network, we use fan stand for here, field area network. So with the net flow, so look at here, we have a site 1, site 2, site 3, and here we have a network operations management, and there is broker, gateways, networks, all head end, and all those things are there. And it will show you the SCADA head end. I think we have used already that SCADA. Okay, supervisory control, access, all those things we have discussed. Yes, we'll take some points about it. So I told this offers capabilities to cope with the capacity planning and scalable IoT deployments, since you are using our internet. And we need to bother about security monitoring in order to detect abnormal traffic volume. I told you already, we have to check abnormal traffic volume and patterns. Okay, so there the question comes is types of protocols, communications methods, headers, security, all comes in the picture. And these are all you need to analyze with respect to centralized or distributed, such as a fog computing. Okay, fog or edge, whatever you can call it as. So if you consider an IoT device sends traffic to specific servers, either directly or to an application or an IoT broker with the data payload encapsulated in a given protocol. So we have to even look at the traffic. Yes, yesterday and the day before yesterday, I attended one webinar. That webinar is conducted by some colleges, and they have organized through the same online, the tools called as WebEx, or this Microsoft Teams app and all. So they said like around 7,000 people were joined for WebEx based online tool, where they were taking this webinar for us. 7,000 people. You just imagine how much that particular online tool can withstand all those things, because it has to broadcast to all the 7,000 people only. Okay, bandwidth and all many things to be taken care, protocol, security, so some might be using. So where is the broker, where is the device, all comes into picture, like traffic. Okay, and addresses, port numbers, all comes in the picture. So one of the drivers of the adoption of this framework for IoT is to leverage tools and process uh, that we known as ISPs. Service providers are mainly meant for the providing a framework for us to get that. Yes, this is what in related with the network analytics only. We have routers, switches, collecting data, and we are transmitting security. All the things comes, all the features come into picture there. So next we'll take some benefits of flow of analytics in addition to other network management services. Okay, what are the benefits of flow analytics? First one is network traffic monitoring and profiling. Of course, we need to monitor the traffic first of all, and we have to profile it. Okay, so the flow collection normally from the network layer provides global and distributed near real-time monitoring capabilities. And you have to analyze the pattern, traffic volume, because IPv4 and IPv6, they provide, they sort of produce a wide, huge traffic, and it helps administrators proactively to detect problems and quickly troubleshoot and resolve problems when they occur. And the second benefit is application traffic monitoring and profiling. So this is for network traffic monitoring and profiling. Second is related to application traffic. So we need to monitor here a profile related to the applications like we use the protocols for MQTT, COAP and DNP3. So in connection with those protocols, you have to monitor their traffic as well as profiling them also. And third is capacity planning. It can be used to track and anticipate IoT traffic growth. Okay, how much growth of IoT devices are connected, so which helps in the planning of upgrades when deploying new locations or services by analyzing captured data. For example, when you are transmitting a video is streaming. So do you think like how many people can be connected if you are making it as a public? Any number it is. So you have this you have designed it for only 10,000 people. If it increases more than 10,000 people, what is the capacity of your streaming server? After 10,000, automatically your server goes down. It cannot withstand more than 10,000 people when you have when the capacity is only limited to 10,000. So you need to analyze that also. Okay, it's this analysis offers the opportunity to track and anticipate IoT network growth on continuous basis. The fourth benefit is security analysis. Okay, when the security comes, the word is very important for which we used to use is denial of service, DOS attacks. Okay, so if there is no permissions or unauthorized accessibility or some malware, some other viruses, etc., can also be an attack to your data. So we need to ensure some of the security for your data. So how do we ensuring the data security that no traffic is sent outside the scope of the IoT domain? So means you have a particular domain, your some range is there. So your traffic should not go out of that your domain. If it goes out of domain, it can be accessed by anybody. Okay. One is accounting. Yes, we use FAN, that's field area networks, routers, gateways, and often physically isolated and leverage public seller services. Deployments may have thousands of gateways connecting, and we need to here maintain some accounting about all these gateways, and we have to analyze, we have to optimize the billing in complement with the other dedicated applications such as Cisco, Jasper that they use, I think. So we have to bother all those things. Okay, then the last benefit is data warehousing and data mining. Of course, this mainly already heard about it. The last benefit is we need to analyze the data, we can mine the data. Okay. Yes, flexible network flow architectures, this comes in the next heading. So these are some of the examples of protocols that are widely used for networks, especially flexible net flow, FNF. Okay, that use, and IETF, IPFix. These are the protocols. FNF is a flow technology developed by Cisco that is widely deployed all over the world. FNF, that's flexible net flow. Some of the advantages of FNF are flexibility, scalability, aggregation, ability to monitor network anomaly and security detections, user configurable, and convergence of multiple accounting. So these are some of the advantages of FNF, net flow architectures. So you can see one small example diagram about the net flow. That's net flow architectures is components, and it has main components which they have shown here. You can observe this diagram, you will understand what is FNF. There we have a FNF flow monitor. We will discuss that is next. Flow record. Yes, the flow monitor, it describes the net flow cache, okay, or information stored in the cache. So what data you are storing here. So it can be a flow record definitions or a key fields. It can be anything else. Okay, and it also holds the destination address and various cache characteristics, which includes the timers, size, etc. All can be monitored by this flow monitor. Then flow record, as I told, it's a set of key and a non-key net flow field values. These records may be predefined for ease of use or customized. And FNF exporter. So I told monitor, flow record, then exporter. So this exporter, two primary methods for accessing net flow data. So okay, we use, what are those two? Command line interface CLI and application reporting tool. Okay, this CLI and using another application reporting tool. So I think you heard about SNMP. Okay, SNMP polling which pushes information periodically to the net flow reporting collector. This NetFlow exporter, it allows the user to define where the export can be sent and what type of transport. That is done by exporter. And we use multiple exporters that can be configured per flow monitor. Okay, just 1 second. Call scan. Hello.